Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Ash here. I hope you guys are having a great day. I have been absolutely snowed in. There's over a foot of snow here, so there's a fair few games being cancelled. Everything crazy, crazy day. Obviously, we have our third round of the FA Cup tomorrow, but we'll talk about a bit about that. We'll have a look into some transfer news. We'll get some updates on how Fabian Schär is doing. Basically, he's been. I'll show this now before we get sort of into a rough sort of lineup. What we're talking about for the Bournemouth. Eddie Howe basically said it's ligament damage, so it's not a fracture, which is good. But he's going to be getting seen a specialist in the coming days to kind of get a definitive answer of how bad it is and when he's going to be back. In my opinion, something like this, ligament damage can normally take longer. So he might not be back until April to the end of the season. Very sad. But as you can see, potentially one of the best signings that we could have got back in like 2016 times. Crazy how long he's been a servant for Newcastle. 10 years now. He's he was been an absolute shining light throughout the end of the Mike Ashley era to now. He's carried on raising his levels, as you can see the 250 there because he hit 250 games the other week. But I thought this was quite funny. I got a picture of him when he signed for us. Look how different he is. That was when he signed for us 10 years ago to now. You see how much like he's grown with us as the club. So all I can do is wish him the best. We'll talk a bit about this. So Eddie Howe commented on Jamal Lascelles' future. Said he's not currently training with us. He's not felt well enough physically to train. Basically because he was injured and I think he's had a bit of an illness and stuff like that. So it's looking potentially like he could be going out on to be sold this January transfer window. So we'll keep an eye out how that's going because it doesn't seem like he's going to be coming back into the squad. Which again, he's someone else at the same time as Fabian Schär that got bought on in that period. I'm pretty sure it was the exact same window that we got him in 2016. So yeah, another one. Anthony Alangi did an update on this. He's touch and go for the FA Cup game against Bournemouth, which again, Bournemouth is not going to have Semenyo for that, I will say. And then here, there is Semenyo, which we will be playing against in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup, which is annoying because the ruling's changed because basically this didn't used to be a thing until this season. So it's as it says here, although he has appeared for Bournemouth in an early round of the FA Cup, in the Carabao Cup, because basically it was like if you played in the Carabao Cup in one team, you then can't be sold to a new team and play for that team in the Carabao Cup. But it's basically it's been changed, the ruling, and it says Man City's new signing Semenyo is now eligible to play in the semi-final leg in the first week because there's been a rule change, which was also a rule change last time that said like the top teams or something couldn't play each other in like I think it was a quarterfinal or something, which was also mad, or the round of 16 or something. I can't remember what it was, but it was so stupid. Yeah. So. But yeah, then it says, shame the rules weren't about when we had to benefit them about Martin Dubravka. Yeah, I know, crazy. So we'll have a quick go through this, then we'll have a look quickly about January transfers because we definitely need to go in the market, especially about centre-backs now with the problems we've got. So this is the predicted lineup from FootMob. Again, this is not going to be accurate because it says Fabian Schär is there. It kind of bases... Actually, it bases it off the last starting 11. So obviously, this is not going to be right. I'll go through what I think is going to be different. So I think Lewis Hall's going to start. I think it's going to be at the back Botman, Chow, and Tino Livramento. I think that's going to be our back four, which is going to be good. However, the problem is probably three of those players have had injuries and are coming back from injuries. Obviously, we've got to see Tino Livramento come on for a bit of last game, and same with Sven Botman. They had about 45 minutes, but for both of them in our last game, which was good to see. Hopefully, they can come on and they look okay. Because we don't have anyone else apart from maybe Alex Murphy. That's going to have to go in at the back. We're not looking too good in our defensive line at the moment. Everyone else is injured. Literally everyone else, as you can see from here. We've got Fabian Schär, Dan Burn is going to be back towards the end of January, start of February. Emil Kraft out. All these back end of January, and again, Jamal Lascelles might not be coming back at all. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, there was also a thing that was written in the Chronicle that basically Eddie Howe was thinking about maybe recalling Matt Target. I kind of hope we don't, because I don't think he's a going to improve our squad. Unfortunately, he's not really looked too great. Unfortunately, so let's have a look at this. So, like I said, that's sort of going to be our back four. Obviously, Lewis Miley has the ability to play right back, centre back, and obviously midfield. Eddie Howe did say that he sees Lewis Miley's position being in centre mid, which I completely agree. It's the same position as sort of what Tenali plays. I don't think we can just keep on just throwing him into the centre back and right back because we need it. It might have to be a substitute this week. Tomorrow, he may end up having to do that. Either be right back, centre back, and then we end up doing what I think could potentially happen. I think it's going to be Lewis Hall, Tino Livramento, Chow starting. And then it's going to be a tough call between having Lewis Miley at centre back or Sven Botman. If I would be inclined to say that it should be Sven Botman, and then if either one of them don't look back to full fitness, bring Lewis Miley on to fill in that role. But I want him to try and have a bit more focus on being centre mid, because if he starts playing right mid, centre back, he's in a big step in his career right now that he needs to learn and develop. So I think if he might get his brain muddled up with all these different positions. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I think going forward, the midfield could potentially look like this because we'll be at home. I don't have a problem with this. I kind of want Harvey Barnes to start again. Looked absolutely amazing. So I don't really want Alanga to be starting. Potentially could come on the bench later on in the game if we're winning. I don't mind that. He definitely needs to get some confidence back. And then in the middle, Voltemada or Wissa. Either one of them, I don't mind. I think both of them looking good. I think we just need some competition. I think maybe Wissa might start this game just because Voltemada started the last game. And Gordon, like I said, Gordon's not been scoring, but he has been putting numbers up. Like he's been performing well, so I don't really have a problem with that. So it's been stated, as you can see here, Rayan, which is basically a Brazilian superstar. He's quite young. I think he's only 19 years old. According to ESPN Brazil, Newcastle are interested in signing the rising superstar from Vasco da Gama. I probably absolutely butchered that team's name. I have never seen this team, and I'm not going to claim to. So he's basically 19 years old, scored 20 goals, and basically he plays. We'll go through his position, but he kind of plays. He can play centre forward, but he plays right wing / right mid, which is kind of perfect because that's sort of something that we need. But it's a very, very, very expensive and it's a big gamble. So I'm personally unsure about this. I'd love to know what you guys' thoughts are about this in the comments. I have actually watched a bit of him play. I watched some clips and highlights and stuff. He looks okay, to be fair. But we'll go through it and of what I think. I think it's too big of a gamble for that price tag. I don't think we're going to do it. So let's go through some other options. So Mateus Mane, who's been at Wolves, he's been their shining light. They're kind of their talisman who's looked amazing. Personally, I would absolutely love him if we could go for him. He's only 18 years old. He's really young, and he looks sensational. I can't lie. He's definitely. My only problem is I think he's going to get a lot of people wanting to come in for him because he has definitely looked the best player by far for Wolves. He's very young, has a lot of raw talent, needs to be nurtured. Again, if we could get him in to put him in on the right, I would love this. I feel like Wolves would want potentially 30 million. I think would potentially get him, which in my opinion is actually very good because they did only get him for 200k, which is from their academy. It's kind of just their way to pass money down into the academy so they can get more players that way. For me, I think this is kind of a perfect option because he has the ability to potentially play in that attacking midfield role or on the right, which is kind of exactly what we need. We need that sort of diversity of player. So in my opinion, he is actually my number one option because I don't think he will cost the absolute bank. I don't think we should go in for Strand Larson. I think we should be going in for Mateus Mane. I think that's a great option that would see us off very well. As you can see, apparently we're the only club, according to this, that's interested in him, which I highly doubt. I can assume that other clubs will, but if we get him, I will be over the moon. I don't know how. Honestly, I don't know how much he's going to go for because he's very young. But I think he has a very, very bright future in front of him. When I watch him, he is clearly the bright spark of Wolves. Does wonders for them. Next player, Oscar Bob, hasn't really worked well at Man City ever since he had his leg break, not came back and hit the ground running. But again, it's been quoted it'll be somewhere between 20 to 30 million pounds for this player. I think that also will be a great option. But as you can see, there's a fair few other teams that are going to be in for him. For me, I would prefer to take a gamble on Mane. I think from what you've seen, he's settled into the Premier League wonderfully. Granted, teams do sometimes sit a bit further up the pitch, which allows him more space, but we do have a very counter-attacking team, so I think Mane would be perfect for us. Oscar Bob, again, great other option. Rayan, okay, this is someone else that I've actually watched. Like I said before, when we were going through the potential players, I had a look at him. Like I said, as you can see here, he's done 27 games on right mid, 16 on right wing, 22 up front. So he predominantly plays on the right, which is exactly what we need, with the ability to drift into the middle, and also has the diversity to swap wings, which is kind of exactly what Eddie Howe likes. He loves to have wingers that can swap whenever we need them to. As you know, Harvey Barnes has been on the right. They keep on getting them to swap wings and stuff, apart from Anthony Gordon, who said he doesn't want to play on the right, which is a bit of a weird one as it is. Potential option, but like I said, if we're going to be talking about 80 million euros, that's like what, 65 to 70 million pounds. That's too much for a player like this that you're buying on potential. I don't see us doing that. Like Eddie Howe said that we won't be doing a marquee signing, but then again, he wasn't really defining what a marquee signing is. But no, I think it's just too much. I think for a lot of clubs, I don't think anyone's going to be buying him for a little bit until maybe the summer. This could bring the price down in summer, and then we'll see what happens to him. Right. Then Allen. This is another player that we've been linked with. So now we're going a bit more into the attacking midfield. Like I said, Mane has the potential to be an attacking midfield, but I'm putting him a bit more on the right at the moment. Granted, like I said, personally, if I had to pick out of all the players so far, Mane is my number one option, is my number one target. But like I said, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. So Allen, he's a player, like I said, for Palmeiras. He's looked okay. He's been playing predominantly in the attacking midfield role. This is the under-20s, so he's had 11 goals in there. He's another potential bright prospect. He's not going to be going for a lot of money. Basically, it's been said that there's some scouts that have actually gone over to have a look at him. So that's interesting. We'll see what comes for that. Again, I don't think this will be a massively expensive transfer, somewhere between 10 to 20 million. So that could be a potential bargain. But this is where I think Newcastle need to go. Go for international transfers. It's big. It's very important. The price is lower, and you can find some gems. Right now, this is probably my key signing if we can do it. If we can get the likes of Mane and Keith Schmidt, I would be absolutely buzzing for the midfield to attack it. Because the thing is, Keith Schmidt has the ability to be attacking, centre mid, and a DM. But I would want him for his midfield and attacking midfield prospects. I think he would fit in perfectly in the role a bit higher up. To be kind of doing a similar sort of role as what Bruno's been doing at the moment. I think that would be an amazing thing to bring to our team. But there's a lot of suitors in for him. Again, another person I'm unsure will sign, if I'm being honest. I think he might be a bit too much. If we do, I'll be over the moon. I really will be. But like I said, so far, Mane and Keith Schmidt, my definite two go-tos for the midfield to the right wing. That will have us covered in that respect, because we definitely need stuff there. Conor Gallagher, I don't think we should be going for him. I think I want to put my 2 cents in that. I think he'll be too much. I don't think he'll help us. Right, so for the defence, this is where we've got a bit of an issue. I think we should be going for the likes of Nathan Ake, potentially from City. He would start. He would help us out. He's obviously a bit older, but we only really need someone to get us through to summer, and he'll last a couple of years longer. But like I said, he's not going to be our main centre back. Our main centre back is going to be Botman and Chow. So again, let me know your thoughts on Nathan Ake. I think he could do very good squad depth. Obviously, he's got good ties with Eddie Howe back at Bournemouth. And then this is someone else, Jacobo Ramo. So this is a Spanish centre back. He's very tall. I think that's 6'7" or 6'6". To go in same line with Dan Burn, actually, I think that height is. He's a fairly young player, actually. He's only 21, so he's a potential prospect for Spain international going forward. He's someone that I think we could potentially also go for. He's got a very bright future. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. But again, that's just another option that's a bit cheaper, where we're not breaking the bank. And it's good squad depth, because they're not going to be our first starters unless if they show out and prove themselves. Here's someone else. It's Oscar McGinn. I'm not even going to try to say these names. Minguizera? No idea. But yeah, he's someone that basically plays right back, that has the ability to play centre back, which is, I think, very important, especially in the issues we're having at the moment. If we can get a player that can play right back and centre back, I think that's a role that could really help us. And he's someone that's been offered us actually in this window, because his contract runs out at the end of this season. And whenever players do that, they can actually get up. They can speak to clubs internationally in the January transfer. So say like Trippier can do that as well right now. So yeah, I think that's another option that we should be looking at for the right back centre back partnership. So Nathan Ake, Oscar. I'm still not going to say his name because I'm going to absolutely butcher it. But potentially Nathan Ake, Oscar, and then further up front, Mane and Keishmit. They would be unbelievable signings. But let me know what you guys' thoughts are in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys tomorrow to see how we actually do against the Newcastle Bournemouth game, which we are at home, so hopefully that goes well. So yeah, guys, I will speak to you all very soon, and peace.